Okay, I do not know where the toolbar has gone, but I will find it. And then there's not drawing on this as well, which is just completely odd. I'm not missing it. I haven't lost it. It hasn't flown anywhere else. I just don't have my drawing tools. I have it on this page. I don't have it on this page. Well, there's an easy solution for this. Here we go. I'll fix it. Okay, let's close this desktop and we'll fix it again. No to all. File, new, desktop, open, 328, open. Aha, there we go. Okay, yes, Globex high. So guys, note when NQ and ES don't align, the trading's a lot harder, right? 26, 27. So I'm just going to take my time and go through the entire setup this morning, even though I'm running late. I apologize for running late, but that's what needs to be done. 26, 27. Format. 2600. Okay. Insert symbol. Tick plot. There we go. NQ. Color, blue, style, dashed. And then Globex high was 65.82 and a quarter. I think we should have plenty of trading opportunities today. So again, I'm not going to rush through this. Traffic just blew this morning, so not fun. Globex low came in at 64.8250. Okay, there we go. So number one thing I want to accomplish today, and note right out of the gate, right? So if I look at both of these, spread these out, right? So I want to get perspective on where I'm at. So the first thing I'm going to notice is, yes, we tanked yesterday. Yes, it appears that we're gapping down, but we haven't gotten below Tuesday's low. We're well off on ES, and we have not broken below and held below on NQ. So in order to have a really ugly down day today, I've got to get below Tuesday's low. I want to write that down, right? Because if I'm bearish right now and I'm trying to short this area and I can't get below Tuesday's low, I'm very likely trapping myself early in the day. I don't want that to be my situation, right? I want to make sure that I'm not just quite the opposite, right? I want to make sure that I'm not trapping myself in any way, shape, manner, or form that might cause me severe pain through my trading process, right? So number one, we're not below Tuesday's low. The next thing that's important on this chart, see this over here, value area low, value area low. If I don't get back inside value area low, I can't trend day up, right? So, and there's some barriers. So this is working right off the chart. It's not even making it confusing by going off volume profile or anything else. If I can't get above these two locations, guys, they're right there on the chart for you, right? If I can't get above here and I can't get above here, right, I'm in a no-go situation. I can't make that work. Hold on one second here. I can't make that work. Okay, so I understand that people are going to try and buy the open. I understand that it's going to be hard out of the gate. But when I'm referencing, if I'm consolidating above these areas, I'm actually going to look for up above here. I'm going to look for long setups above here if I'm consolidating inside of value area low. I'm going to look for two-sided wide ranges underneath. And then once I'm inside value area, right, so I expect my price action to change once I'm in there, right? So let me get my drawing tool out. Again, for those, if you're new to the room or you haven't been in the room before, and before I keep going here, let me just do this really quick. This is not good. Good. Very funny, Simon. Oh, I see what's going on here. There we are. Okay. I have the account in Sim. Let me roll this over here really quick. Before I start trading in Sim instead of live. Before I forget. 1 sec. The data will be back up in 1 second, guys. Okay. Once I get in here, right, there we go. I got one more trading down to pit up. Hold on 1 second. And we're in business there too. Okay. So on price action, right? Once I'm inside a value, I expect this type of price action, just really slow and grindy. Underneath value area, I expect this kind of action. Wide rotations down here, smaller choppy rotations in here because I'm inside prior day's value. I expect, so I'm going to expect rejections here. Okay, and I wrote last night on the chart, right? You'll see in here, this is an important area. There's actually an anomaly here and gap fill. So I'm going through this on NQ because I think it's important, and ES. I would normally just have made this a yellow zone. I wasn't sure how whether we were going to trade above or below, and you can see we traded both sides, but I expect rejection out of this area from both sides. This is an important area here on NQ. In ES, we had a similar area right here, and you can see they're both acting as the support and resistance areas for NQ and ES, right? So I wasn't sure how to treat it, so what I was going to go off is just a PA in this area, but this is a support resistance area. I just couldn't figure out what the price action will look like when we arrive here, and I couldn't figure it out based on how we were trading last night. So I didn't make it a yellow or white zone, which simply means I need evidence from the algo or price action or something to help me out in this area. Okay, upstairs, I expect rejection first time into this anomaly, and you really want to stretch on ES. This zone's really 2637 to 2641.75 because you know that your visual traders have to be looking at value area low as well as the anomaly. And what you really want to see here is if you can push up into this area and get above and below. So I don't know if that above and below includes punch in, then punch out, or punch in, extend up to value area low, then get back underneath the anomaly for push lower. I just don't know what the answer is there. So you need to consider this whole area. If you're trading just based on the zone, this whole area is a valid location. And what you'll want to look for here is tick divergence on the 5-minute chart to give you a clue in this area as to whether we're going to get rejection. And then importantly, if we trap back above and we can't get back below value area low, and we can't get back below the anomaly, look for a push up and to the other end of the range from this area as we repair yesterday's damage. Yesterday's damage was off of a news report that Trump is going to restrict investment in U.S. companies from China. That's what the sell-off supposedly was all about. I didn't know that was the news yesterday till after the market. That's what it was. Not that it matters. You have to trade the chart. But that often can get re-auctioned. Remember, we're changing cycles a little bit. What was previously, we'd get Trump news and we'd go down and then immediately back up. That little game is worn off. And now we're just simply going down and pushing back up. And I don't know if I did this, guys, so I'm sorry because I'm running late. So I'm going to do it again. If I did it, just tell me. Past performance is not indicative of future results, right? This is for educational purposes only. You can lose a lot of money trading futures. Make sure you know what you're doing and that you have a risk management plan, right? And don't follow me blindly, right? I scalp, I swing intraday sometimes, but I have a specific plan that I'm following, and I do take stops, right? I think that's a good thing, not a bad thing, but I do take stops. I'm not Mr. Perfect Trader. I don't believe people who are day traders that are perfect traders is a bunch of BS to me. It's all about managing your expectation and your entry and knowing what you consider a reasonable entry. Okay, so below, let's talk about below for a second on NQ. Hole in profile down here, okay? I really don't have anything at Tuesday's low besides a potential trap. open gap, settle price. So here I put the notes right in there as clearly as I could. So Friday's low, last week's low, potential trap location. You can see we rejected right out of the hole in the profile. This is Friday's lows, last week's low. If we trap back above here and we make a big push and we can able to close back in above Friday's low, okay, watch for a push back to the upside. Notice they pushed in. See how the market was very specifically. We pushed into this area, but we were unable to close above Friday's low. Close back above Friday's low probably starts getting us corrective to push back up to test value area low and certainly testing Globex high. Okay, that's one of the first clues I'd be looking for. Tuesday's low, I don't have anything there. I know we pushed just below and it's just a regular marker, but only visual traders will be trading here using Globex low and value area low. Not particularly interested. I am interested, okay, and expect responses here, okay, and then I expect this whole area. So you note I wrote the note, large anomaly finished by the white zone at the bottom. So how would I address this? I would not take the trade here if I was going to stop prior to getting down here, okay? If I had to choose a location in here, I'm going to choose the back of the zone. And if you remember yesterday when they got panicky, like they kind of are right now, okay, when they got panicky, we were overshooting zones by 10 to 20 points on NQ. That's normal on NQ because you don't have the liquidity there. ES looks pretty horrible to me right now. Liquidity-wise, NQ is a nightmare. Just assume it's 5 ticks wide. Okay, so that should settle down a little bit later this morning, but people are clearly in a panic mode in NQ. I would be very, very cautious. If I was not a trader who could take losses, there's no way in hell you're going to get me to trade that today if I could not take losses. If my trade plan says 2 losses and I'm out, forget it. 60.68 is a 7% down trading halt. Thank you. So let's mark that off. 60.68 and a quarter. I'm just going to mark a line there. Big red line. Color red. Well, I that you're even considering that, Ron, says a lot, right? Format 60.68. What was it? 75? 75. Labels. There you go, label. Oh, I can't. It won't let me type the label there. Okay. So that's well past what I have zones at. That's way down here. ABC. Trading halt location. There you go. The algo had a short at 65.23 and I didn't short it. Yeah, I know, but I don't trade in the open, Ron, anyway. So I wasn't going to trade NQ out of the gate today, so I don't care. It's just too hard when it moves this fast for me to. I can't get any size on anyways on NQ. So I want to point out each of these locations. I expect a response here. I'm waiting for the algo to confirm. This area here, okay, so I'm giving clear instruction before we get there, right? If I could only trade one location, it's going to be right back in here, right? Again, getting above your last best seller, your last best buyer, right, is a clue, which means this is obviously your last best seller, right? So 2 things. If I get above this bar, I would expect to push, but B, even if we pushed up, I would expect one more push down to get better structure lower to trade off and against back to the upside. Okay, you can see how volatile we are this morning. It's just nutty if you're trading NQ and you don't have deep pockets. Very difficult, okay? These zones, 60, 39, 63.29, 62.87, these are, let's go back to the left and look at what these are. 76.75. Sorry, let me fix that. 76.75. Wait, Ron, I'm missing your message. Let me pull this up. Guys, we're going to pause for a second because I know Ron's trying to communicate something important to me, and I am missing it. So let's go look. Okay. The second 5-minute candle on NQ was 70. Oh, got it. Okay, so the second 5-minute candle on NQ was 76 3/4 points wide. 76. So I want y'all to think about that for a second. Dollar wise, 80 points. That's $1,600, right, Ron? Eight times two, $1,600 in a 5-minute candle, roughly. Okay. You better have really secure, deep pockets if you're trading NQ this morning. And let me tell you why I'm not eager to trade it, because I make my money in 10 to 20 point rotations that I can predict. And I don't make my money getting stopped out on a regular basis. So I'll wait till the whip slows down. That's just super easy for me to do. And I can live with that, right? I don't want to get run over. If these are the days you need to make a killing and you've got to do it in the first 5 minutes, there's something wrong with your trading strategy overall, right? There's nothing wrong with being short here. But if you're trying to grab it as a day trader and this is what you need to make your account jump, there's a problem. So let's keep rolling through here. What we have down here, I don't know why I have that marked. So this is a naked TPO volume point of control. I didn't go this far back last night, but I know those zones are valid. I did them last time. Let's go see what we have. Aha! So backside test, huge hole in profile down to value area low. That is likely to be a big counter rotation. Not much to help with the reversal besides stretch and potential double bottom. So let's scoot this all over so I have my notes over here. Here we go. And then we'll go look at that. There we go. That helps. Whole thing is valid, right? Not much to help besides double bottom. You got to believe at that February low, okay? Traders are going to attempt that double bottom in that area if we get down here, okay? If we bust that, that's where the trading halt location is underneath. So I'm going through carefully in case it really melts and you are trading it. You know exactly what you're looking for. I'd bet dollars to donuts that we get at least a prior bounce before heading down to that 60, 68, 75 would be my guess if we get down that far, okay? Okay, let's go through. I think I covered all the areas here so far. Let's spread this back out. They front ran the open gap. I actually think the hole in the profile is the better location versus the open gap. The backside testing Globex high. Again, I'm not even pinning the – I wouldn't bet your dollar on this market. So I'm just going to wait till it settles down. Let's go look at ES, and then I'll go through the profiles in just a second. I want to make sure everyone in the room is clear on the support resistance area. So here's ES. Okay, anomaly and gap fill, but we'll need evidence from PA to figure it out. So it did what I was worried about. It did rotate off here, but then it sliced it pretty good. Okay, so if we go lower, notice tick isn't all that horrible yet. And my guess is the reason for that is there's a rotation out of high beta into low beta stocks. And usually what the pattern is in down markets is there's initial rotation out of NQ into ES that buoys the market for the first hour while that rotation gets handled. And then they both get sell pressure if we're going to roll lower, and they both get annihilated after the rotation is over. Also remember, end of quarter adjustments are going on, okay? That means we're susceptible to days like Monday where OTF just steps in and has an adjustment to make, and they can just pour fuel on whichever way the fire is going and keep it going, right? So make sure you're looking for OTF. It's hallmarked by lack of counter rotation, whichever way we're moving. There just won't be any counter rotation to the other way, because what they're doing is it's trying to lift, right? You have some guy at a hedge fund that goes, I need to get out of $1 billion in equities. I'm just going to keep hitting the sell button. So it lifts, and instead of doing this, it does this, 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 and then finally everyone goes, oh, someone else is selling it. I can't keep it up. Bam is what ends up happening. And vice versa is true too. If they're trying to push down and they hit those, an OTF steps in, they'll start doing this, and then bam, the other way, and then it'll go into a trend up like this. You got to the hallmark of that is whatever rotations we're having completely disappear. And while I'm talking about this, let me get the let me get this reset here real quick. Oops. Again, I'm probably not trading till 9:15 today. I just want to let everything settle, and then I'll go and pick up, even if it's pennies, I don't care. Pennies are better than large losses, and we're probably going to have a good trading day all day today is the reality of the situation. Okay, that'll be ready in just 1 second. Meeting number 6332. Okay. So does anyone have any questions over the zones in ES or NQ? I'm just going to wait to settle it out. I'm looking for tick divergence, by the way, for larger swings. I'll point them out. They've worked beautifully the last 2 weeks in a row. If you're not watching for tick divergence, you're missing trades. I am. I know I am when I'm not catching it. Bill did a beautiful job, and so did Greg. Greg caught a 20-point rotation down in ES yesterday out of the top of the rotation all the way down to the low. I'm telling you, there's just some great trades to be had there. So let's move over to this. Okay, why can't I move over to this? There we go. Okay, and let's get the TPOs out so we can see what we're working with. Okay. I'm going to erase this and just go through step by step. Anomaly, gap fill. I couldn't figure out whether I wanted the tighter anomaly or the wider anomaly. I now have my answer. We rejected out of the tighter anomaly on the wider anomaly there on NQ. Huge hole in profile. That needs to be re-auctioned. There's 2 ways to re-auction that. We can either, there's 3 ways to re-auction it. Okay, we either reject here and don't get out, right? We get above, backside test, and fly straight through up to this anomaly here. The option B is that we slow grind all the way through here. That's painful when we do it, right? And we just kind of come back and forth and fill in the volume. What's the last? Oh, yeah, so that's rejection, halfway in, rejection, then all the way through. And then, and the fourth option is a hybrid of this, which is oftentimes what you'll see is push in, halfway in, rejection, and then slow grind all the way up to complete here. The problem is in this profile, there's a ton of places to get fixed. So this is the next place that has to get fixed. I'm not sure. This is such a wide area. I'm not sure where we reject here. I'm pretty confident that I'm willing to short right in here. I'm looking for an excuse to short in here. I'm not sure about this, and I'm probably looking for an excuse to short between here and the back of this. I expect a rejection out of that area first time in. I'm not sure what this will look like here. This is pretty bad, so I'm not sure how they're going to – if it was narrower, I would just say rejection, but it's so wide, I'm not sure how they're going to treat it. And then I expect rejection here, which is already on the charts, right? And then point of control and the TPO point of control and the volume point of control are kind of spread out here. And so I'm going to default to which one's further away for rejection. So I'd go for the 67.95 versus the 67.61, 67.61 1/4, which is the volume point of control. The whole area is valid, but again, it's really spread out, and we've pretty much done a V if we get back up here at this point, which, by the way, wouldn't shock me either today. Straight up wouldn't shock me any more than straight down would. Again, it's the end of the quarter, so anything is possible here. It's end of the quarter. It's shortened trade week. If you are at a hedge fund, so a lot of traders forget because we're trading in our little $100,000, $200,000, $1 million trade world, right? Most of this world that we're swimming in, right, we are minnows in a freaking ocean, right? And most of the animals controlling this thing are in great whales and great white sharks, okay? And they're pushing billions and trillions of dollars through this thing. This is doable. Don't assume that your point of view is the whole market's point of view. All you need is a few hedge fund managers and some cash inflow to go, I need to get long. Remember, the reason we get those sweeping, relentless pushes up, okay, like we had on this day over here, is because most mutual funds, pension funds, and now hedge funds have a long-only mandate. And they get money every single month, and they get month-end quarterly deposits as well, okay? And they have to put that money to work. And it's indiscriminate for many of those guys. So I want you to hear that again. when you're trying to figure out if it's at support or not support, a mutual fund that gets quarterly inflows, okay, and has a mandate that says we stay 90% in cash, if they get $1 billion in cash, either cumulatively or one fund, guess what they do? They put $1 billion in cash to work because that is their legal mandate. They have a contract with the holders of that mutual fund that says we will put all this 90% of this cash to work, right? So when that happens and you get that happening collectively, you get, regardless of market conditions, these up days right at the end of the month. Conversely, when they look at the market, if they don't have the cash inflows or the market gets bad, right, and you have a guy called a risk manager at either a mutual fund or a hedge fund, and he goes, right, just the opposite. He goes, hey, you violated your whatever risk parameter. Usually this is at a hedge fund more than a mutual fund. The mutual fund has the mandate to stay invested, but he'll go, we have violated X, right? And he'll go to that fund manager. The risk manager will go to the fund manager, two separate jobs, right? The risk manager guy holds the trump card in down markets over the investment manager. And he goes, you have to liquidate or hedge off X dollars, right? Whether it's 100 million, 200 million, or a billion. And that guy goes, sell X amount of futures at the market. And then you get this, right? So that's what you're competing against. And we're trying to walk in between the cracks and pull money out is what we're trying to do. But just realize as we get towards the end of the quarter, that's what we run the risk of running into. So again, ES is up, which is no shock because I figured there'd be a rotation out of high beta stocks and FANG stocks into ES, right? So that's the areas above. I want to show the areas below because it gets a little tricky down here. There's a naked volume point of control and a TPO point of control that haven't been tested on NQ. I'd have my eyes on that 6380 to 6373 area. But as we go back and look in that area, again, I'm not in a rush this morning, guys. So if y'all are trading it, you're going to have to do it without me because I'm just not. I just let it settle for me, and I'll pick up the pieces afterwards. There's plenty of money all day long, especially with the algo. Come on, where are we? Ah, there we are. So this is where we are right now. Let's stretch this out a little bit. Really? That's my two choices, everything or none? Okay. The first thing you will notice right now, we've come down. We are trading at, I don't know where we're trading right now. Where are we trading right now? 65.19. That puts us right here, roughly. That's where we're trading. My biggest concern is there's no holes in the profile, no anomalies to be fixed. You have an open gap right there at 64.40. This is the first hole in the profile, right? At roughly 64.29, which I believe that's beyond the halt, right? Let's go look to make sure I got it right. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, we're fine. That is 64.29, which is sitting right here. Okay, that is the first hole in the profile. Okay, and that's why I want to get there. You notice we just missed that open gap, but that's why I want to trade that little hole. But behind this, okay, so this is this right here. Then behind it, see that huge anomaly that we have right here? Okay, there's a TPO point of control and a volume point of control. They may come off the top of it, right? They may, and they probably will come off the top of that realistically because it's a round number at 6,400. But if I have to bet, I want to bet on the I want as much help as I can. I want the TPO and the volume point of control. So 63.79. The other way to look at that is that what will often happen is everyone and their brother will go, oh, it's 6,400. It's a psychologically important area, right? They'll get a little bounce here and then wham, right into support where you wipe all the stops out from this guy because this is a 20 to 30 point rotation down. They're all stopped and then wham, right back above and see ya. Okay, so that's what I would love to get to. If we get behind this, there's problems anyway, so I'm not going to bother. There's nothing behind it. That's the big issue down to that stop. There's another hole. Let's see, where's the stop again? 64 what? There's a hole here, right? This whole area needs to be repaired right there from 63.27 to 63.28. And Ron, the stop is 60.68. So we can get down there. What do you know? So this area is the next area. You may want to write that down. I don't think I covered on the chart. 63.27 to 62.86. That area should at least garner some choppiness and some two-sided trading in that location because this area needs to be repaired. Underneath that, yikes. Let's see. There's an open gap there at 61. There's a TPO point of control. Let's go find out. 6180. Gosh, that's going further back than my chart will go because I don't have enough days loaded, I think. So I won't worry about it. If we get down there, it's all hell's broken loose anyway. So that's that, right? So, and then if you look above today, and I know I'm being so slow, but again, if you don't have an idea of where you're trading, it's pretty damn hard to trade, right? So again, you'll see we rejected right off that 65.40, right? This area, expect wide, fast rotations through here. I expect rejection here, through here. If we get above that 64.45, there's a hole in the profile. I don't know if I marked it down. Expect a counter rotation, not necessarily a rejection right there at 66.76 to 66.74. This hole needs to be repaired. I expect rejection. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed upstairs. So we'll worry about that when it gets up there. I'm not going to overly worry about it right now. Let's go look at ES really quick. So, yes. Okay, I expected rejection out of this area. Again, there's a rotation clearly into low beta stocks versus high beta stocks. Ralph, by the way, saying he has a short bias below 2025. Okay. I would have expected rejection out of here. We obviously didn't get it because I think the rotation's out of tech into blue chip. There's an anomaly right here. So this is an important area, okay? Between this anomaly and value area low, I expect rejection or counter rotations that are tradable. That would be the next target up, by the way. Is this 2637 to 2641, right? And you would generally expect a rejection. It's just the area is so wide. I'm kind of shoulder shrugging because I'm not sure where we will reject in this area. There's a pronounced low volume node right in there, but the whole thing just sucks, right? If you look in here, the most obvious target is the point. If we can get above this anomaly, this is your clear target, 2661, 2658. By the way, if we reverse all the way up here, I would look for short squeeze trend day up the other way. I mean, really, if we make it past value area low, I'm thinking I'm scalping this. I'm not trying to grab a major reversal out of here because we're probably, once we're up in that area, we're probably having price action that looks like this. Once we get above here, it's probably going to go like this. And even if we get rejection here, my guess is it's maybe back to a 50-60, and then we would push up like that. That would be my suspicion. So first thing that has to happen is get above value area low. Looking below here on ES, right? So remember, the way the pattern used to go, right, used to be rotation out of NQ into ES. Once that rotation is over, they let both of them fall on their face, right? So underneath here, so here's our most recent swing low, right, sitting at 25.95. Okay, we haven't noticed we haven't penetrated that. So you want to write that down. Hey, below 25.95, that was our swing low from the 27th. We haven't broken it, right? Next, we're one timing to the, we're not one timing yet, but if we clear a new high here, we'll be one timing to the upside. You want to note that off your 30-minute time frame. And as we go back and look to the left, this is a poor low here, guys. That is a poor low. It's, if we get down there, that is likely to be broken at 25.86 and a quarter. Okay. Let's go see what's below 25.86. It's below 25.86. Wow, we're all the way. We're just going way back there, guys. There we go. And below here we have, let's see what we have. $25.86 is up here. Okay. Top of open gap right there. Modified half gap right here. Expect a response at the modified half gap on that. That's a good half gap. Let's call it 25.8150. Dalton's gap fill, 25.80 1/4. I would expect a response from here to here. Like, I'd be very keen on looking for a response in that 25.8150 to 25.80 1/4. Okay. There's probably going to be a visual response off the top of the open gap at 25.8250. And then once we get down here, there's a hole in the profile, TPO point of control and volume point of control. So remember, the TPO point of control and the volume point of control are what are spread out by not much, 2 points down here, because this is way back in November when the ranges were much smaller. So that's 76 to 72 there. That whole area is a valid support area, right? And I would expect a response out of that. And if we get beyond that, you know, we're trading right now 26.24. So that's about 50 points down from where we are now. That's reasonable. If it really gets ugly, notice if we get beyond 25.72, there's nothing to fix here. The next thing to go to would be this swing low at 25.64. And then let's see if there's anything else behind 25.64. That was a swing low for a long time there, I think. There we go. There's 25.64. So that was a breakout point and a retest. And then below 25.64, you have an untested but almost tested volume point of control and TPO point of control. So expect that to also act as support in there. And then you have a just beautiful hole in the profile right here. And I'd love to get along from 25.59 if they'll give it to us again. That's 75 points down and on ES. This whole thing in general, but that area specifically. So this whole area in general and that hole specifically is what I'd be targeting. Again, that chart is completed. You want to put it 25.56. The 10.25 of last year, obviously, that chart is repaired 25.56. There's nothing underneath it. And I'm not going any further than that because if we're down 75 points anyways, it's ugly day and I'm looking for tick divergence anyways, and I'm probably freestyling it from that point on. So my trade plan is to wait to get tick divergence one way or the other, not fight one way or the other, and then to go off the algos. So someone asked me an interesting question last night on the algos, and I'm going to address it for a second, which is obviously I'm distributing those algos to some of the members in the room for use. And they said, well, the question was, what if 100 people end up with 100, if we end up with 100 users of the algo? And my answer is, I don't think that's will have any impact on the algo whatsoever. And this is the reason why. A, there's more than 100 people in the world that have the knowledge that I have about where major support resistance are and even the internal workings of the algorithm and how it fires off, right? In terms of, hold on 1 second here. Let me pull this up really quick. Why am I having a hard time with this? I don't know, but here, we'll pull this off for right now. So this is the ES algorithm. And yeah, my answer to that is I'm not worried about it. Long story short, I don't think that we will have any issues. If even if 1,000 people had it, by the way, there's a high volume bar right there. That close underneath that bar, right? It's probably going to be that bar is now resistance on ES, that 26.21 against the high. That is valid short location, by the way. Why am I? Oh, my DOMs are locked. I wish I saw that earlier, but I was busy setting up my day, so that's all right. I'll wait for a push back up. So VWAP, obviously. So my answer to that is it doesn't matter if 100 people have this. A, we're still all placing our trades at a little bit different location. But B, and probably more importantly, is I just don't think it'll have a major impact on the way that the market trades. I just don't think it'll have. I just don't think we run enough volume to have an impact. That's what I think. So that's the ES algorithm. That's NQ, and I still think that we'll just, yeah, that's my thought process there. Why is this not on call? I had a short there and I didn't take it, so I'm feeling kind of stupid. Not stupid, but I would have liked to have taken it. So anyways, long story short, I don't think it'll affect the algo at all. The algo will fire when the market's like this, a boatload of signals, okay? Every one of these little green triangles, when we're getting them at the apex, like that triggers a long, right? This triggers a short on a close below, right? That triggers a short right here on a close below, right? And they're fast, right? So notice we're going 5, 10, 15, 20 points quickly on these algos, right? This triggers a long. Off it goes to the races, right? This triggers a short on a close below. You have to know, like on VWAP, which is what this is, you don't want to be taking the algo on VWAP. And remember, you want to align that trade with what's going on in the market, right? Overall, hold on one second here. So anyway, long story short, guys, my plan is just to wait and let the market come to me. I want to reiterate, I'm not in any kind of rush, just not. I'll let the market roll to me. I do think once they're done with the rotation out of NQ into ES that we'll see a roll back down, but can't swear to that, right? So they're obviously trying to push up right now, and we'll see where it goes. I think if we let the first hour burn, we'll have a lot easier time making money today. And by the way, on that trade, see how we pushed right up into that volume bar, guys, right there? See how we rejected right out of it? That is a great, beyond great, is a fantastic trade. That makes a boatload of money for the guys without. We want to hunt that down for trade location. Case in point being right now, what we have right here, right now, that happens a lot. So that's my 2 cents about that. You want to grab the backside test of these areas because the RR, this is 2 points worth of risk in this bar itself. And you can see when it backside tests it, so it does stop sometimes, but usually the RR is at a 2-to-1 ratio when those set up properly. That was another volume bar. You'll see we tested right back into the backside test. And that's not a high volume bar. If you look at it, there'll be nothing there on the volume. But trust me, there was a lot of volume relative to everything else that went off in that area. And that's why it's giving those great responses off of those bars. So anyways, that's my 2 cents. I'm going to get to work. Guys on YouTube, thanks for joining. If you'd like to visit us in the room, you're more than welcome to. Send me an email to tradertough@gmail.com. My name is Simon. Control your risk today, guys. It's hard when it's like this. That's all I can say. That's why I'm so relaxed right now. I'm just not overly interested in proving to the world that I'm the best trader. Trying to trade the hardest environment doesn't make you a great trader. It makes you an aggressive, risky trader, right? You want an environment where you can actually read it and not everyone's gasping for air here, right? That's pretty damn hard. Yes, the RR is fantastic, but the punishment is severe for getting it wrong. Anyways, it's my 2 cents. And guys on YouTube, thanks for joining. Guys in the room, I'll be there in just a second. Let's get this back in its place. Let's scoot this down so y'all can see it. That's so annoying how that works. Let's see if I can fix this. Obviously, the decline ratio, advanced decline ratio is not bad. It's 1.13. It's not horrible yet. Wait till it gets horrible. And that's because they're rotating out of NASDAQ into the blue chips. I'm almost positive of it. As much as positive as I can be without actually having physical evidence. Okay, there we go. I just moved freaking Globex low. Can someone shoot me Globex low on NQ? I just moved it. Apologies. Accidentally. There we go. Important area, but can't figure out how to use it. So I knew that area was important. I just couldn't figure out what the deal was on that location. Again, underneath this 2612, and I think ES is in trouble again. 6482.50. Thank you. There we go. Okay. Chart's back in shape. I want this to be bigger, but then we're going to have to just go with that for now until I figure out a better solution for showing the other computer. And tick is not too bad yet. Wait till it gets bad, then it'll be ugly. Let me figure out how to stop this. There we go.